and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the reading habits tag, and I know this was kind of made a little while back, but I just wanted to do it now. I had actually originally filmed this a little while back through FaceTime with Chloe, but the video never really was completed, so today I am just doing it myself. So this was originally from her YouTube account. So the first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And I don't really, but I usually like to read on my couch or like a comfortable chair in my living room because that's just what is most comfortable for me. Yeah, I don't really like reading in my room because I don't have any chairs in there and my bed is kind of uncomfortable to find a good place to read. So I kind of just read like on chairs downstairs or like in my living room. The second question is bookmark or random piece of paper. So for the longest time I would just use random piece of paper. I didn't really care about bookmarks, but now I have a little bookmark collection that is in my bookshelf. It's on the bottom shelf. You can't really see it, but it's there. And what I try to do is I try and match the bookmarks to the type of book I'm reading. So right now I am reading the Selection series. I'm actually on the Elite right now. And I have this little bookmark with like a castle type thing on it, and that's just one example. I thought that was kind of fun. It kind of brings the mood even more. So the next question is, can you just stop reading or do you have to stop after a chapter / a certain amount of pages? So I find it really unsatisfying when I just stop in the middle of reading, like in the middle of a chapter. So for me, I don't mind on the number of pages. Sometimes I'll go by 50s, so like 150, 200, like that. I kind of like doing that, but I also don't mind as much that as stopping at chapters. So if I reach page 250 but it's in the middle of the chapter, I'll just keep reading to the end of the chapter and stop there. Sometimes I will stop in the middle of reading if I have to like go do something or just stop because I'm like moving locations or like anything. I can do that, but it's just I don't like picking a book back up and having to start like in the middle of it. The next question is, do you eat or drink while reading? I sometimes eat. I never really drink though, but I do sometimes eat not super messy foods because I have accidentally gotten some foods on my books before, and that is just really gross and unsatisfying to me. So I try and keep it neat. Most of the times I won't though. I'll try and eat like before reading so I won't be hungry or whatever, and then I just binge read. But yeah, sometimes I will. I don't really drink though. Sometimes I'll have water too. The next one is multitasking music or TV while reading, and I love to listen to music while I'm reading because it kind of just sets the mood and it helps me to focus on the book. If I can tune out everything around me and just listen to the music and pay attention to the book, I can get sucked into a book for hours without realizing it. Like yesterday I read like about 100 pages in like 2 hours, and I didn't even realize it. Like it was 10 o'clock last time I checked the clock, and then it was like almost midnight, and that was for, again, the Selection series. It's so good. But yeah, so I don't like the TV though. Sometimes I love reading in my living room the most, like I said, so sometimes my family will be playing the TV in the background and I just turn my music up a little louder and try and not pay attention to the TV if it is playing, but I prefer not having TV on, but sometimes I don't have a choice. I can also read fine without any music, just like quiet, but I don't really like to because I like associating songs with certain books. Like I have a whole Shatter Me playlist of songs that remind me of Shatter Me, and those songs, whenever I listen to them when I'm not reading either, it just reminds me of my favorite series. So I love doing that. I love associating songs and playlists with books I'm reading. I will put the link to the playlist in the description so that you can check it out if you are reading Shatter Me as well. Another thing is that if the TV is in the background, I will always put music on. I know I said I can read without it, but I can't read with the TV in the background, so I will put music on if the TV is on. just so I can pay attention and drown out the TV. But yeah, so it's either no music and it has to be silent, or music and the TV can be on. It's kind of complicated, but yeah, I just like listening to music usually. One book at a time or several at once. So this one really depends. Sometimes I do like reading 2 books at once. Like, I know back when school was still running, I would do that a lot. I'd usually have a book at home and then a book that I'd read at school. But now I try not to do that. Most of the time now, if I'm reading 2 books, it's because I'm putting one off. So like right now I'm reading The Elite, but I'm also reading Renegades at the same time because I've been putting Renegades off and just reading other books. Cause that one, it's just been hard to get into at the moment. But yeah, so I usually read one at a time. But sometimes it can vary. Like, I know in the past I've read 2 before, but like actually reading them both and not putting them off, it just like kind of goes back and forth sometimes depending on how I'm feeling, or if like I'm able to read 2 books at once. Like, I might be wanting to focus on one and not have another one be in the way, and other times I might be like fine with reading 2 stories. Reading at home or everywhere. And so at the moment it is mostly reading at home because of the circumstances, but before COVID, I did like to read at the library a lot, and at school. It was fun to read at school a lot. I do like reading at home, and I did like reading at home probably more before quarantine and after, because it is just more comfortable than like a desk or like a hard wooden chair at the library. And I just like to be comfortable when I'm reading so I can read for hours on end. And right now it is also just safer to read at home, so that's mainly what I've been doing right now. I don't really have other places I can go anyway at the moment, so that's kind of just what it's been. And I don't really want to spend more time in a public place than I need to at the moment. Do you like reading out loud or silently in your head? And this one is pretty straightforward. I just like reading silently in my head. It always bothers me when someone is reading so slow out loud, because I read fast when I read in my head, but when I read out loud it kind of goes slow and then I don't get as far, so definitely silently. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? I really try not to, but sometimes if I'm like at the end of a chapter and something big is happening, I'll accidentally look over to like the next page or whatever, which spoils the next page, but like I get there in a minute. Cause I just always want to know what happens. But then of course sometimes I will cover the page so that I won't see, because I don't want to be spoiled. And then sometimes I will kind of flip to the ending pages and I won't read them, I'll just kind of like go past them. Sometimes I accidentally see like the last word and I'm like, oh no. But I really try not to, and I never really skip pages. Breaking the spine or keeping it new? So I definitely love keeping my books looking new. I don't know if you can kind of see on my bookshelf, but I've read like all of these and they all look pretty brand new. I do love keeping my books looking new. Do you ever write in your books? And that is a big no. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, because like the pencil on the paper is just so unsatisfying to me. Like the noise and the feeling is just, ugh, I just don't like it. So I definitely don't. The only time I've ever written in a book was Lord of the Flies, and it was for school, and I absolutely hated that book, but we're not getting into that. So I definitely do not. And if anyone ever wrote in my books, I'd be so like angry, because I just don't like writing at all in any books. So that is all of the questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I have some more tags that I'm thinking about doing and filming and posting very soon. So if you want to see more of those, stay tuned. Also subscribe if you want to see more book content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!